You all did it. Big up on a self.
Well, not easy. No, man, that can't write. He can't cause ball in a place like that. That can't write.
Yeah. Good thing that if we make some change, can be kind of controversial still, but I don't know, the students deserve a little happiness at the end.
Is that student behaving like that?
So graduation day.
No, it don't sound good. That's not right. Remember, children watch things and children live what they learn.
What do you think about it?
I think it's rude.
Freedom of speech. That is the way he express himself. So I don't think nothing wrong with that.
That is not a proper speech for someone, a young person to make to an audience.
Oh my God. I don't know if he did anything wrong because he attends the School of Performing Arts, so he's just performing.
Wrong. Cannot cause bad words, so.
If you keep a graduation where you have big people, you have people, all kind of people come, but if you have respect in any way, check it out. That is not proper working speaking.
I don't know, I guess it's okay, we're Jamaicans.
No, it's not nice. No, something I like that.
No. It's a graduation.
What do you think about that?
What I think about it, that's we can't make no comment right now. God no. We can't do a little more manners, but it's all right.
A Jamaican think that everybody cause bad word. Them not cause on the street, them cause on the house. And them tell them children, so there's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's interesting. So I think he was just overwhelmed by the feeling that he successfully passed through all the tests, through all the struggles he had to go through. So the excitement got the best of him. So I think it's something that I would do.
Right there is disrespecting your school though.
It won't me. Never expect something like that to come on time.
No, man, that's very rude. Really? I'm speechless. After what? Graduation? The world really changed.
All right, so remember, tell us what you think using our hashtag TBJ All Angles. Joining me in this segment of the program, we have psychologist Dr. Lakim Samaj. Also with us, Dr. Isis Samaj Hall, lecturer in Caribbean literature and pop culture at the University of the West Indies, and Verly Pupai as well, lecturer at the Edna Manley College of Visual and Performing Arts. Just before that, though, I did speak to the valedictorian of the Edna Manley College, Waldane Walker, on Beyond the Headlines. And let's just listen into a little bit of what he said.
You know, this is what I believe, and this is what the speech spoke about specifically, or not even specifically, in some parts, where this society wants to force you inside of a box, and I don't really agree with that. There are no box of limitations, right? I'm about freedom of expression, and when I look back at it now, as I said before, it wasn't a planned moment. It happened, and I'm not retracting the statement because an African proverb teaches me that when I put something out there, I put it out there of my heart, and I can't retract it. So it's out there in society now. And for those who may have been offended, I apologize to you. But for me, it was a moment of exuberance, and I just released my 4 years of hard work in one moment with my graduating class.
Okay, so let me start with Dr. Lakim Samaj. You've already said, you said to me earlier in the week that you didn't think it was appropriate. Elaborate from there.
There are a couple of iconic spaces in our life, and graduation is one of them. And it's a moment in time and space. And what I read that as, it's a bad judgment that was exhibited. And it's unfortunate that it has taken on so much impact because guess what? It has nothing to do with graduation because we've had hundreds of graduations without that happening. It has nothing to do with Edna Manley. It has nothing to do with stress because we've all been through that. It has to do with one person who exercised bad judgment and poor impulse control.
He said freedom of expression. Society wants to put you in a box.
But that's good. That's okay. That's good. freedom comes with responsibility. Behavior is governed by consequence. So next time he goes somewhere and he's asked to do something and he feels his expression, say, well, let me do it this way, let me, some producer wants you to do a play and wants you to do it one way, and you feel, tell him whatever comes to your mind first. But I'll tell you, don't try it at home.
Dr. Isis Samaj Hall, and I know my viewers are wondering, relation?
Yes, this is my dad.
Okay. But on this point, you differ?
Absolutely. I think you should be able to speak freely and express yourself creatively. I absolutely believe that. But that said, I do think that it was an accidental slip. I do think that it was a curse word. Sure, it shouldn't have been intentionally included in his valedictorian speech, but it's there. And we wouldn't be sitting here right now having this conversation if he didn't say it. Because as my neighbor right here said, there have been countless valedictorian speeches, countless graduations, but how many get covered in the news? Only the ones where people drop B-bombs. And so he did it. And of course he shouldn't retract it now. I mean, I wouldn't expect that he would. And he was right to apologize to those he offended, because I don't think that was the intent. It was not to offend anyone, but the words are there. The words are known. And now we have them, and we'll discuss.
Really
that's not an apology.
That's fine. Yeah.
So let's understand.
He's acknowledging that there have been those who are offended, and
that's not an apology. Once you frame it that way, if there's no change of behavior, there's no apology.
But I'm not
he
sure.
He says he's not going to do anything differently, and he would do exactly the same thing again.
Because he didn't intend to do it. So you can't. I don't believe that there's anything to apologize for because he didn't intend to. It's as if there were a hot mic, right? So when we're going to break, I say a thing or two to you, and that winds up in the media, I can apologize. I'm sorry I didn't want you to hear that, world, but it happened.
Hold on, I'm going back to the tour. You're getting a sense of what must have been happening in the kitchen growing up. But
how can I top this? Right. Well, first of all, I think one needs to understand that the Edna Mandey College graduation ceremony is not an ordinary graduation ceremony. It is a production, right? It is a creative production in and of itself. So it is not the sort of pomp and circumstance that you will find in other graduation ceremonies. But I don't think he has anything to apologize for, right? I think the expletive came in the moment, but I think it is very unfortunate that is one moment which I think was almost inevitable if you look at the whole speech, would have come to define the speech, while what he said in the speech itself, in the body of the speech, was in many ways much more important, The many things that are important in it, I mean, the story of his grandmother who was brutally murdered, we should be far more morally outraged about that than about this one expletive in the speech. His whole speech really was also a challenge to the status quo, and I think in a sense the expletive comes with that, right? So, and it is one of the roles of art to challenge the status quo. Sometimes art is in bed with the status quo. Sometimes it is both. I mean, it challenges and it allows itself to be co-opted. But if artists cannot rock the boat, then I don't know who can. Right? I mean, and I think it's a very necessary thing, because I think this country has, I believe, has developed a very unhealthy preoccupation with a very narrow sense of propriety, in terms of how people are supposed to speak. And let's not forget, I mean, this is a law that dates from the years after emancipation. I mean, this is a colonially oppressive law that we are talking about in terms of the legal status of expletives. But it is really important for art to challenge how people think, to generate discussion, I mean, to challenge what society is about.
There's so much in there, but I'm at break.
Sorry for that.
Don't apologize. Lots in there to unpack.
Was it sincere?
But let's do that after the break. Remember, our hashtag is TVJ All Angles. We're talking Jamaica bad words. Stay with us, we'll soon come.